Well, good evening and welcome to a special edition of Main Street Sports. Ray Halbrook here from Livestream STL. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we are surrounded by a whole lot of Festus fans here, and I'd love to show you that, but we don't have enough cameras here to pull that off. But everybody that's behind me, real quick, just say hey. There we go. We got a lot of folks back here, so we appreciate everybody being here real quick. Jeff Whitener, I'm going to kick it on over to you, and we are going to honor some Festus state champs here, Coach.
We'll start off with our track and field athletes as we're here in Tiger Country tonight, Ray, and I just want to say real quick, we really want to thank the Pasta House for having us on board here tonight as we celebrate both the state championship Festus Tigers track and field team and baseball team. So congratulations to all, if I forget to say that right off the bat here. But we're going to start off with the head man right now in the athletic department for Festus, and that is to my left here, the activities director, Mr. Jason Therrell. How are you, sir?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. And Jason, you know, I joked before with you with the two teams this spring winning state championships for the first time in school history. With you just coming on board in your position as the athletic director, what are you going to do to top this?
Fair to say, not a whole lot you can do to top two state championships within a week. Really exciting for our school, though. You know, to have the first two in school history and both happen within, you know, a very short time frame is pretty amazing.
Now, you've been slowly transitioning into the job this spring, coming from Coach Therrell was the head men's basketball coach at Festus, and transitioning into this position with the teams having extended play going through the districts and state. You probably had a little bit of a baptism of fire there.
Yeah, you know, like I said, being on campus and already being the head basketball coach and transitioning to this role, it allowed me to be a part of some things and really learn, like you said, on the job. And that's been a really neat experience for me, watching both teams compete in the postseason. You know, it was really a learning experience for me, but also really exciting for our school and our student athletes.
Now, as you're moving more into this position, activities director at Festus, and you're looking back in your time as head basketball coach for the varsity boys, obviously both roles have their certain types of headaches. You think that you'll anticipate more headaches in this job or in the basketball job, or just different types of headaches?
You know, I try not to look at it that way. I think when any job you take, there's going to be some good things and bad things. You know, we all know that in any profession that we're in. You know, as the head basketball coach, there was a lot of great things, and along that comes some challenges. And I think in this job, there's going to be challenges. The one thing I'm lucky about is we have a lot of really, really great people in place at Festus, a lot of coaches that I have a tremendous amount amount of trust in. And as you can see in this room, we have a lot of really, really good athletes. So if you're going to be the activities director any place, Festus is the place I would choose to do it.
Well, good athletes and good support as well from the community, from the families, parents, friends, alumni as well. Just as you look into the future, as we start the 23-24 school year down the line, the fall will be here before you know it. You've got summer camps and whatnot. Anything special, interesting, cool, or new that's going to be happening either this summer or this fall at Festus?
Well, there's always going to be some new and exciting things, but right now we're trying to keep up with the success that we had right now. It seems like things are going in a really, really good direction. My hope is that I can help everybody kind of guide them in that same way that we've been going. And, at Festus, our goal is always for each program to be successful. And we got a lot of things to be excited about. Obviously, our track team did great, baseball team did great, but we look for great things again from our cross-country team in the fall. Our football team should be really competitive. Softball's got some girls coming in that are going to be really, really good. So we got a lot of things to look forward to at Festus next year.
Well, and as you said, we don't want to get too far and project into the future because we're still savoring the moment here of these two state championships and want to do that for as long as possible. And to that end, we're going to switch gears and talk about a little bit about the state track team. And who better to talk about that than right off the bat is the senior coach, Coach Partney. We appreciate you coming in tonight. An amazing event, an amazing.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I like to see some of the boys over here. I see some of our senior leaders that came out, and some of our coaches. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Coach, how long have you been at this now?
Ooh, this is 26 years. I've been the head coach for 15.
26 years, 15 as head coach. Now, obviously, when you're setting up a meet, whether it's a local meet, your own invitational, whatever, there's a lot of strategy involved in how you're placing your athletes in what events and what time, and et cetera, et cetera. But there's also sometimes some scoreboard watching as you go on. And here, certainly at this state meet, you had your rival Hillsborough Hawks nipping at your heels a little bit. How cognizant of the team point situations were you as the day went on, and did any events make you nervous in that regard?
I probably started pointing out the meet about a month before the meet happened, and all these boys, I'm very open with them, and we talk about all of this in practice almost every day. Where are we at? Where do we stand? What does it look like? And they've got everything posted online now, even virtual meets that match everything up, and these guys all get on there so they know as much as I do. So yeah, we talk about that for quite a bit there leading up to it, and it does allow you to see where you want to put your pieces and where can you attack and where are they going to put theirs. So there is a lot of that.
Sure, and a lot of people, I don't think that maybe aren't as familiar with track and field don't realize that amount of preparation that goes, that chess game, just like in any other team sport.
Yeah, and team sport is exactly, I'm glad you put it that way because that's one thing the coaches and I have stressed, and many of us have been together for a long time. Track is very individualistic, but you're working for a team championship at the end. So having that team mindset is something that I've always wanted, and the other coaches have been right there with me to kind of put through for a track program, a team, not just individualistic events.
Sure. Were any of the performances, the state performances this year, did anybody make their personal best, or do we know how that went as far as districts on up through state?
So let's see. Ian, your 800. That was your personal best when he won the state championship in 800.
Right.
I believe Armad, who's not with us tonight, won the long jump state championship with his PR, with his best as well. I'm not sure. We did break the 4x1 and 4x2 school records, which we had already set, I think both of them, at the state meet. Improving on the records we'd set earlier. So
sure.
Those are the ones that pop into my head. So, yeah, we had a really phenomenal day.
Yeah, I know there were some, the last couple of months, there were several, in the relay, a couple of school records shattered, I believe, as well. So
yeah, we had a good year as far as the records go. I think we broke 6 school records. The group did various relays and individual field distance. Just a great group of kids that performed at a high level this year.
Well, describe your feelings, and like you said, you've been at this a while. When the boys were able to host this plaque in front of me here, up in front of them on the podium up there, what was that like?
There were 2 times where it just really kind of hit me. One is there were a couple of pictures we have when these guys were doing just that, holding the trophy up. we had been talking about a state title since day one of practice, and what can we do to get there.
Sure.
And to see them doing that, that was just, that was amazing. And the second best feeling I've had since all this happened, to tell you the truth, was when Monty and the baseball team won, because I couldn't be more happier. Even happier than I was for myself to see him, those coaches, and that team. I mean, I've been with this, with Monty for practically my whole career. So
Sure.
that I think was more special even than after that. Both of us being able to do this in the same year.
Special time to be a Festus Tiger. That's for sure, guys. We appreciate you coming in. We're gonna switch out now. We're gonna do our own personal relay here, and we're gonna have Coach Tedford and Coach Reese come in.
We're going to see how this Chinese fire drill works.
We'll
right
see if
here,
they can.
right?
Instead of a baton, we have headphones.
There you go. 2 out and 2 in. How quick is that? It's almost like a relay.
Now,
How about that?
since you didn't know ahead of time, Ray, where they were going to sit, are you going to be able to put their names in front of
Yes.
them on the?
We got it all. We
the
got it
graphic
all
there?
worked out. We sure do. That we do.
All right. Well, my first question, and want to touch on it real quick. A key member of the track team could not be here today, and Coach Party touched upon it a little bit. Armad Branch, the winner of the long jump, and he also competed in the triple jump this year as well. Could not be here right now for a very special reason. He is up at Purdue University, and I would assume he is working out with the football team, where he is on scholarship to play for the Boilermakers this fall. So congratulations to Armad. Congratulations on his personal best long jump. And we hope to see some big things for you from Boilermaker Country. I heard, too, that Armad is going to try to run track or be on the track team as well.
Wow.
Armad also an important part of the relay team for these guys. All right, Coach Tedford.
Yes, sir.
Handles the jumpers. Athletes like Armad Branch don't come along very often. Was it difficult to hone his technique to complement his athleticism? I mean, he's got all kinds of raw athleticism. But what did you need to do as far as his technique and tweaking that to get him to a personal best in state?
For Armad, it was about stepping back and just allowing him to perform at the level that I knew he could. To say that I had a whole lot to do with it is probably definitely an understatement, or an overstatement, maybe. He's just that guy that can do things when he shows up. And fortunately for this year, he got hooked the first couple meets. He had some really good performances. And once he saw that there was going to be some success in this year, he was committed from then on. And he showed up every day, and he really set the tone for the whole team. And it was a really great thing to see, because I think without some of that leadership and setting the tone for the rest of the team, it was going to be it would have been a different outcome. I really do.
Sure.
I really believe that.
And we're going to hear a lot about leadership here today for both of these teams, track and field, and for the baseball team as well. A lot of that senior leadership, and it was nice to hear that Armad stepped up in that situation. Now, he didn't perform in the triple jump as well as he might have normally. I know he was the number one triple jumper in the county this year.
Yeah,
but,
You think,
at that point, exhaustion started to take over with mental, physical exhaustion, or maybe both?
Yeah, I think he performed better at several of the meets than he did at the state for triple. And if you look at the schedule of events, and most people aren't really aware of how that worked exactly, but he had he had to check in for the triple jump, and then go and run the 4x2. And then as soon as he was done, he had to go check back in with the triple jump, get his prelims in, 3 prelim jumps, and then he had to check back out and go run the 4x1. And then come back and finish for the finals. And so he was actually sitting in first place in the prelims. And then by the time he got done with that 4x1, his legs were just kind of shot, and he just didn't have a whole lot more left in him.
And a lot of times these athletes aren't walking to and from the events you just described. They're having to jog back and forth to make it in there as quick as they can. It gets to be a little hectic. It's like a 3-ring, or it's like an orchestrated 3-ring circus at times. It really is. Aside from long jump, triple jump, are there any other disciplines that you specialized in coaching?
I worked with the high jumpers as well. We had this year we probably had more. I think we had more jumpers and just really great jumpers than I've had in 15 years of coaching. So it was really great working with all of them and all the different events. And Ahmad definitely set the tone for that. We had some hopes that we maybe got someone there in the high jump, and someone else in the long and triple, but those didn't quite come through. But we have some young talent, and I think those guys will be back next year. It'll be exciting to see how they perform at the end of the season.
That was my next question. I don't know, and as far as the jumpers go, how many seniors you're losing, but how does the team look like for next year?
I think we're set up for some pretty good success in the coming next year and in the next coming years. So it'll be exciting to see. We have some great jumpers.
Well, and have obviously some great pole vaulters as well here, and then we'll switch gears and talk to Coach Reese here a little bit. And you got to witness Johnson clear 4 meters yet again, pretty consistently here as the season wore on. Worked with him a while. Describe your feelings, Coach, at seeing Johnson grow and develop over the last few years, his high school career to where he got to this point, third in state.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, by the way.
Sure.
So AJ, I had been with him since 7th grade.
Uh-huh.
I actually kind of talked him into coming out to track and pole vaulting, and so this has been a long road for us. And so as we went through his high school career, there was obviously some disappointments with losing the COVID season. So that's a year of development that you kind of lose out on. But AJ's the type of kid that he lives and breathes what he does. And so I always tell the other coaches he basically had like a coach's mind when it came to his sport. And, he'd send me a message, in the middle of the night, Coach, I saw this video. What do you think about this? And, we'd work through that. And, just really proud of all the work and time and effort that's put into the pole vault that he did, because it's a very difficult event to be in. A lot of things happening all at once, and he managed to be able to control as much of that as possible. And he had a huge district meet where he went 14 feet, and then he consistently went 13.6 pretty much the rest of the way, which got him a tie for third at the state meet. But very emotional watching that happen, because you envision that moment for your athlete to get up on that podium. And he kind of had a disappointing season last year at the state meet where he didn't quite get to the podium. And so to see him do that on the biggest stage in the last moments of his high school career was really special.
Especially since you've had him that long. And it's, as a coach, teacher, all of these guys, even us in the media, you get emotionally invested in these kids, and
Absolutely.
you want them to do well, and that's such a gratifying moment. But you talked about some of the things, the factors that come into pole vaulting. Let's talk about the mindset a little bit. What possesses a man or woman to run with a big, long, flexible, pointy stick, jam it in the ground, and then launch themselves through space?
You got to have a couple screws loose, I think. Honestly, it's funny because I was a pole vaulter in high school. Wasn't nearly as good as AJ, but whenever I got recruited to do it, they said, hey, we think you got kind of the mentality. And more and more I looked back at it, I was like, what were you trying to say about me? To sprint down a runway at pretty much full speed and stick a 13-foot pole in the ground, to 15-foot pole in the ground, and fling yourself in the air, it's got to be you got to have some courage. And that's one of the first things we work on as a vault group, is just kind of those barriers that we have to get through, because it's a mental barrier. You're not meant to do that.
Right.
And so we've been very successful with getting our athletes very comfortable on the runway. And there's a lot of reflection that goes into the vault. You have to really visualize what's about to happen, because it's happening in a split second. Even though in the air sometimes it slows down, but to throw yourself upside down and just kind of let go, it's a very unique thing in sports. If you really look at it, all the events that you could possibly do, it's probably one of the most unique ones that we train kids for.
Exactly. And just thinking back all the way through high school and college, the vaulters, I want to say they had a screw loose, but they had a different outlook on life for sure.
Yeah.
They're interesting personalities, I would say. That would be the best way to put it.
Absolutely.
The difference between first place and third in the state was 0.59 meters, or 23 inches total.
Yeah.
How much of that difference comes down to technique or just raw speed and strength?
The person that won at Grayson, he actually vaulted 15.5, and then he went for the state record at 16.5. He was built similar to AJ, but he just, a lot of times with some of these athletes, they have an extra little pop in them when they hit that runway, and Grayson had that. And honestly, with the Webb City program, they had 3 boys that could have been at the state meet this year. One of them no-highted at the sectional meet, and then the second one kind of had a little trouble in the runway at the state meet, which kind of put him back further in the standings. But a lot of it's technique, a lot of it's your ability to control yourself in those moments. Sometimes it's poles. Pole selection. Poles aren't cheap, and we've been very blessed that we do a lot of fundraising in the off season to try to provide our athletes with the equipment that they need. Sure. I mean, there's some school districts around here, they just have to vault what they have on, and that comes down to a lot of it too. And AJ, he, if we have another year, AJ's going 15 plus, but he maximized his abilities for this time.
Well, and that's I'm sure that's the job of any good coach is to help maximize that ability too. So congratulations to him. We're sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but also congratulations to you in that it's quite an honor for both of you. Been together that long in that relationship. So.
Well, and I lucked out because I had a girl vaulter, Ella Shy, who was a senior also that I've been with for 6 years, and she won the state meet. So it was a very special day for us in the vault program.
We're talking about the boys winning state here today, but certainly Ella Shy's performance in winning the pole vault at state for Festus. I'm glad you brought that up. I appreciate it. We certainly don't want to slight her, even though we're talking about the guys tonight. So.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. We're going to pass the baton once again now, and we're going to get into the athletes here. I have up. Let's see. We want. Let's have Ian and let's have Mr. Craig up.
Chinese fire drill is working perfectly.
Ian Schramm.
We love it.
And is it Colin Creek? All right, let's start off with Ian here. Oh, you guys listen so well. You got the mic up there. I'm telling you, the track and field, the cross country guys always take great instruction. That's for sure. All right. You had quite a day at state, Mr. Schramm.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate you coming in. You've been at this a while and a great runner, both in cross country and in track and field. Now, this last fall, you have an injury on the team that may or may not have affected the total score in cross country, and you lost out the championship that you guys had held for a while to your cross county rivals, the Hillsboro Hawks. I'll try not to say their name again. And you also, though, fell to them. They beat you guys out in 3 big events, track and field events meets this season. Just talk about how sweet it was to edge them out for the state championship.
Well, it was pretty nice because we just came off a cross season where they just ended a historic streak by all the guys that came before us. We felt a lot of pressure, and we kind of didn't really get it done on the day. So then to come back and track after we got beaten by them all season, day in, day out, but just tried to stay confident. And then at state, we came out on top, just did what we were supposed to do, and then it was pretty sweet, to be honest.
Was there a little revenge factor for motivation going on there with the team?
Oh, a little bit, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But we love those guys at the end of the day, but when we're on the track, it's like we do not associate with them. They are across the state when we're on the track.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that competitiveness between not only you and the team, but also Josh Allen, their great runner over at Hillsboro. Did it help to push you to know that he was nipping at your heels at state, especially in some of the races there? I mean, he won one race outright by himself, but he and also his brother, great runners for the Hawks. That helped. That competitiveness with Josh help push you?
For sure, yeah. We raced all season this year, like a lot of competitive races. I came out on top in most of them, but in cross it was the other way around. He beat me when it mattered most. He beat me all cross season. And then in track I came out on top a few times and at state. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, those are 2 of my closest friends too. Like Hillsboro and Festus, we battle every day, but the Allisons, I love those guys, man.
You can be friends with after at the end of the day when it's all over, right? Let me ask you this: we talked with the coaches about managing events, and Coach Party talked about, Armand having or Coach Tedford Armand having to run around the different events. You yourself were probably in constant running mode most of the day as well. You participated in several different events. How do you manage your your energy levels, and combat fatigue during the length of a day like that?
Oh, and at state, it's 2 days, so it's like usually if I'm doing 4 events in one day, it's like, okay, leave it all out there in the first day, and you're just go home, go sleep 11 hours, whatever you need to recoup. But you had to go back there the second day at state, and I mean, there's not so much you can do. You just got to eat, try to sleep pretty well. But at the end of the day, I was like, when I came back home, I looked almost sick because I had just almost gotten out of war,
But it was well worth it, right?
For sure,
Leaving
yeah.
it all out there. That's let's talk about your future a little bit. You have committed to Wichita State to run track, and we've actually had some other county athletes at Wichita State over the last few years. Discuss that process, how that came about, and your decision to go run for the Shockers.
I mean, I was just looking around all cross-country season and like junior track season, which didn't go super well for me. So I was like, just hopefully I can go to a good university and just put that chapter out, know what I'm going to do next. And, I mean, I went on a visit to Wichita, and I knew that was going to be my home for the next 4 years. So, I mean, one of my closest friends and longtime teammate, Jacob Myers, is going there too, so that even made it a little sweeter too.
Well, it always helps to know somebody in that situation. So we'll be able to follow along with your collegiate career as well as Armand's in football and possibly track and field up there for Purdue. So, all right, you did great. Stay right there. We're going to go over to your captain now, your leader, and a situation where Colin Krieg, injuries, he had to sit out. Watch everything going on, but as Coach Partney said, you were a true leader on this team and help push and guide and motivate these guys. And talk a little bit about, I guess, turning disappointment into success for you and seeing the team, get up on that podium.
Yeah, so my junior year, I didn't have a very good track season either. I had a stress fracture in my femur bone. So I was coming off that injury into cross-country season this year as a senior, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to do anything I can to make sure that I'm on that line, on that state line during cross. And I was. And I didn't have the greatest race that day. Previous weeks, I had some pretty good races. I was up probably our second, third, fourth guy. And then at state, I was the seventh one, or sixth or seventh, and it really brought me down. But then I made sure that over the winter I was running and working out with all my teammates, and really wanted to put in the work to make sure that I had a full track season my senior year, to make sure that I could show my future coach that I was able to work hard, and come back from a serious injury and make sure that I was, healthy again.
Sure.
And then track season came, and I was doing pretty good. I felt pretty solid. I was still nervous about weight bearing on my femur, so kind of took it easy the first few weeks, and then finally got comfortable with racing and the ability to apply full pressure. So then I had finally kind of had a breakthrough, and then the next few races I was doing pretty good. And then the week before districts, I did the first race and then waited all day long and then did the last race. And I guess I didn't do what I was supposed to during, the few hours that I was off. I probably could have been stretching or walking around, but I just chose to sit down and try and stay off my legs and out of the heat. And that ultimately led to my downfall. And I had strained my hamstring in the first 100 meters of the 4x4. And I was wanting to make it to the finish line and give the baton to our third runner, but I had fallen because my leg had given out at the last 150. But to the question of me bringing that very downgrade thing that happened into success, was I made sure that all my teammates, all the distance kids, made sure that they were doing what they were supposed to and how they could prevent what happened to me to them and allow them to ultimately have the season that they wanted into the postseason. And Tate Uding had taken my spot in the 4x8 leading up to the state meet, and at the time I was feeling pretty good. You know, I was able to do some type of workouts, and it would get pretty sore and aggravate me, but I didn't want that to stop me, you know, from not racing my last race in high school. So we were in the bullpen, and I looked over to Ian, and I was like, do you think I can do this? And he said, with full confidence, yes. And then I was sitting there thinking, and the official had finally said, all right, all of the alternates need to leave, and it just needs to be the 4 athletes that are running. And I looked at him again, and I was like, do you think it's a guaranteed second place with Tate Uding on the team? And he's like, yeah, with full confidence again. So I was like, oh, well, what do I do? But Coach Bartney had told me, you know, it's going to come down to that last race possibly, you know, because Hillsborough had shown Festus that, oh, they could beat us in almost every event, right? And so I was like, that was ultimately what led to my decision was how can we make the most points for the team. And
wow, that's quite a story that shows your level of maturity and went into your thought process and how you are growing as a young man in society, and that you were willing to sacrifice your own, you know, personal ambition there for the betterment of the team, and that I know is not lost on these guys, and you were to be applauded for that, young man.
Thank you.
As well as you, Ian, for being a good teammate, and I'm sure seeing what he did there was motivation for the rest of the team as well.
For sure, yeah.
Well, what are your future plans now?
I do plan on running in Edwardsville up at in Illinois for the 4 years, and major in construction management. So.
SIU Edwardsville?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we hope that you get fully recovered from the hamstring and from that stress fracture, and you have the confidence to go out there and tear it up, and we'll be following along with your career as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. That's what a wonderful story. That's I tell you. All right, we're going to switch out, guys. Another passing of the baton here during the relay. And I believe that's going to bring us in with Reese Johnson and Hunter Bates.
Round and round they go.
Round and round we go, ladies and gentlemen. They're doing a good job. We'll see if it's this smooth with the baseball guys.
Right.
My money's on the track and field team. Hunter, yeah, get that up closer to. All right, gentlemen. Look into that camera right there and tell the people who you are first.
Oh, hold on.
Wait, you forgot to turn you on.
There you go. We're good.
My name is Reese Johnson.
And I'm Hunter Bates.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with Hunter here. Hunter, I think you're the youngest of the track team here tonight. Yeah. Describe your emotions around winning the state title as a sophomore.
It was, it didn't feel real at first. I was on the side, like, by the track, and we were just talking, like, are we going to win this meet? And, like, I didn't think much of it. It just didn't feel real.
You're in one of those situations where you were just excited to be there and didn't really sink in until later, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. Now, you're a multi-sport athlete at Festus. Do you favor one sport or the other?
Track.
Track over anything else. So you played football, too. Now, does Coach O Fadelaide, I would say O Fadelaide, we always call him Coach O. Coach, stress the importance of track and field for the football team?
Well, this is going to be my first year playing, but he really wanted me to play football. Yeah.
I was going to say, I can see you out there for sure. So you have 2 years to improve, to get bigger, stronger, faster. Do you have any personal goals in track and field?
I want to break that 400 record, and Coach Barney thinks I can. That's one of the ones I want to beat.
Well, there you go. You've got 2 more years to do it, and the work starts now for sure.
Yep.
See, these guys can savor it a little while, but you got to get right back to work. Aside from your coaches, who are some of the guys on the team that have mentored you or led by example?
Reese.
Reese, huh? He's the man.
Ever since freshman year.
Now, when you say mentor, does he, like, get on you, give you trouble, or just, I mean, does he hold you accountable, or is he?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the way as we get a grin from Reese there. Well, just your first year coming out for football. So, how do you think the team's going to look this year?
I think we'll be pretty good.
I had to throw a football question in there.
Yeah, I think we'll be pretty good.
Excellent. All right. We'll switch over now to Reese, your mentor and leader. Headed to Missouri S&T.
Yes, sir.
This fall to run and continue your education. So obviously he's the brains of the outfit, correct? Yeah. What do we plan on studying there?
I'm currently studying business engineering management.
Business engineering management.
It's kind of an engineering and business degree all in one.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you could do everything from write a business plan on up to design something.
Right.
I love it. You have tasted individual success as well as success in relays too. Do you prefer one or the other, or which one is more fun for you?
I definitely enjoy the individual, but definitely the team success is one of my more favorite. I enjoy sharing success with others and just being with the team.
Right. It's track and field is such a unique sport. You're battling against your competitors in an individual race, but you're also battling against your own personal best and your scores.
Right.
But then you're also battling as a team. So there's like three dimensions to that competition and that's one of the things I love about track and field personally. But how does it feel in your senior season to make history for the school?
It feels great. It was definitely a way to cap off my high school career. I've made history last year with my two personal school records in the 1 and the 2. So I had a little bit of a taste of it last year, but definitely capping it off with a state title was.
Now, you think there's anybody coming up, any of the underclassmen or that were juniors this year that might have a shot at breaking some of your school records?
One I would say probably in the 200 would probably be Avery Edwards. I think he has a good chance. He's a sophomore this year, I believe. But
how are you going to feel if you see one of your records fall?
I'll definitely be pretty proud, but I'm hoping I set him low enough to keep him there for a while.
At least a few years, right?
Right.
Okay, as you look back over your track and field career and all the work, sacrifice, the effort that you've put in, what are some of your favorite memories?
Definitely a lot of the postseason. Usually at practice, it's more of a smaller circle, and typically who I make the best friends with. And Hunter coming up, he was definitely a good kid to be around, and I definitely had a lot of.
So you'll be keeping an eye on him the next couple of years, seeing how he's doing. Sure. Getting texts in the middle of the night saying, tell him to get back in line, work hard, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, guys, we really appreciate you coming on. Ray, do we have anything else? Well, you know what? I want to say one more thing and we'll have these guys up here real quick.
Okay.
Coach Party touched on a little bit. So you guys win state and track and field. And in the meantime, you see the baseball guys doing what they're doing. They're making their run, and they're getting through semifinals. Were you keeping track of what the baseball team was doing at the same time?
Oh, for sure. I have a good bit of good friends of mine on the baseball team, and we're kind of close-knit, good bit of us, and it was definitely awesome seeing them succeed this year.
Well, I think they'll say that the feeling was mutual as well. Thank you guys so much for coming in. And Ray, I think we have all the track and field team now.
We are done. Yeah.
I think we got them in here. I think
Hey, look at that.
I had a new personal best in interviewing. So I'm gonna hold this for just a minute here. As I said off air, I did win the Fat Man 100 race once in high school, so that qualifies me. I have a medal somewhere.
Oh my goodness!
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your Missouri State Track and Field Class 4 champions, Festus Tigers.
We'll be back in just a minute with the baseball state champs. This is the Main Street Sports Show. We'll be right back.
Guys, I've always wanted to ask you this since you're both pitchers. What's your favorite pitch? It's a fastball? Okay, I know. It's a curveball. No? Okay, well, what's your favorite pitch? Oh, yeah.
Spitball.
The Main Street Sports Show. You never know what we're going to throw at you.
Hey, Ray Halbrook here with Livestream STL Media. You know, we wear a lot of hats in this business, and to tell you the truth, we have a lot of hats from the area here in the Jefferson County and St. Louis County area here, and we really just like to tell you about all the different hats that we take care of here with a lot of different schools, a lot of different organizations, things like that. So as I'm doing this hat, you might be thinking, you know, hey, I'm a business, and you know, I'm looking for a way to advertise my business. Well, here's a perfect way right here. Advertise with us here at Livestream STL. Real easy. Sponsor with us, 314-852-4398. I promise you will not be disappointed as we continue our hats here, because we wear a lot of hats. We'd love to wear your hat as a business as well. So partner with us as we continue our amazing coverage in the Jefferson County and St. Louis County area. We'd love to have you on here as a business, so consider giving us a call. Again, I'll throw this up here real quick, 314-852-4398. And again, like I said, your business helps us continue the great coverage in Jefferson County. I've got a handful more here, but man, we'd really love to have you as a part of our businesses as well. Again, if you're a business, big business, small business, doesn't matter, give us a call, 314-852-4398. I promise you will not be disappointed, as I got 2 more hats left here. And man, we appreciate having all of the amazing businesses in Jefferson County and St. Louis County. So again, give us a call, 314-852-4398. I promise you will not regret it. Have a great day. And we are back for segment 2 here for Main Street Sports Festus Tigers edition. And we appreciate everybody being on the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter waves, all the different places out there. And we're going to turn it back over here to Mr. He's been pretty quiet all day here. So hello, kids.
Hello, kids.
That's
just
all I got to
hey,
say.
Now you're talking my sport.
There we go. Coach.
Real quick, how about a big round of applause for Pasta House for having us tonight?
Absolutely. Appreciate that.
We're here in Tiger Country.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Coach Woody Garner, you're going to take the questions here, and you saw a lot of the Festus Tigers this season, so take it away, Coach.
Well, we are joined by the Brain Trust, Mr. Jeff Montgomery, head coach of the Tigers, and pitching coach Barry Stafford. Just to preface this conversation, the Festus Tigers baseball team are the Class 5 Missouri State champions for 23. It's the first baseball state championship in the school's 122-year history. Let that sink in. They finished the season with a record of 27-8. Over the course of their last 6 games through district and the state tournaments, they outscored their opponents 40-3. 6 players made first-team all-conference honors, 1 made second team, and 6 others made honorable mention. That's 13 players on this team's roster. So, Coach, you've seen a lot of great baseball over the years and had a lot of good teams. What set this state-winning championship program apart from some of the others that you coached?
Well, I got to tell you, it's talent for one. You know, it's a group that invested a whole lot the last many years growing up playing baseball. And, you know, just 3 years or so ago when we won our first district title, you know, we realized we could win. The boys bought in. We went to a different level. You know, it's a very determined and competitive group. You know, I don't know if I've had a group like it. You know, we've gotten there before and gotten close. And, you know, sometimes things go wrong and, you know, you start to doubt yourself a little bit. But this group never had any doubt. They always came to play. If something went wrong, we just kind of went to another level. And, you know, I try to explain it to people. It's hard to kind of put a finger on it. But just extremely competitive, you know, and just a lot of times we just almost intimidate our opposition the way they handle themselves. It's just a special group, that's for sure.
And from my perspective, covering the team during the high school for live stream, you look like a team on a mission every game that we covered. And you answered my second question about the collective mindset and all that. In the short term, what has this done for Festus baseball?
Well, obviously, it's helped us tremendously. It's we've gotten close so many times in the program's history. Obviously, we've got a camp coming up Monday. We've got 95 kids signed up for our camp. We've got a all-turf field. It's the best field in the area, I think. And no, it's a good time to be a Tiger. And our kids, I think, have bought in. And obviously, this is going to help us. We're going to have our trophy there Monday night for people to see. And I'm just really happy for our kids, for our families, for all the people invested. A lot of people have worked really hard to get to this point. It's not just this 20 young men and us coaches. There's a lot been invested by so many in our community, and it's just a great thing.
And to that end, it's a community win.
Yes, it is.
This season, you were blessed with an abundance of pitching talent. You used approximately 13 different pitches over the course of your schedule. Did you and your coaches make a conscious effort or decision to develop the pitching talent, or, as in some years, were you hit with a stroke of luck, having talent that came in, and then you develop it a little bit?
Well, we try to. Honestly, Coach Stafford does a great job with our pitchers. Coach Berger works for our pitchers on the JV level. But we always try to build up our pitching with some depth. I think you have to do that. You can't just ride 3 or 4 arms all spring. I think that gets you in trouble. And I think we try to do a good job managing guys, not maxing guys out all the time on the mound. So I think you get more kids in the game. You get more kids to contribute on the mound. And we've been blessed with some, really talented kids, and obviously that's helped.
Absolutely.
We got 4 left-handed pitchers. People – it's just almost insane to see us have 4 lefties that are, in the 80s on the mound. And, so we're in a good position. We're really blessed in that sense. Coach and I really inherited a good group coming up here. But, I think we really work to try to expand all the guys, put guys in situations where they can be successful. And, again, we had a lot of guys that didn't even get to throw, didn't even throw in the playoffs. We didn't even need them. And I think that just says a lot about our kids and about our program for sure.
So what's next for you? Summertime's coming. Are you slowing down a notch? And second part of the question, when do you start preparing for 24?
Well, we got a camp next week. We got a bunch of kids coming to that I mentioned, and then I guess things will kind of slow down. I think, and again, it's probably duly noted, Coach O'Faladay does a speed and agility program, helps get our weight program really off the ground in the building, and I have to give him some credit. We got involved in that in January and February the last 2 years, and that January obviously is a big month for us to get off the ground for next year. So a lot of guys will play in the summer and the fall. A lot of guys play multi-sports, so that's a great thing too. But once we get back after Christmas, you're kind of limited on what you can do now. They really have those windows now where you can do.
Absolutely.
So you can't go all winter anymore, 4 days a week like people used to try to do. But January will be a big time to get going again. That's for sure.
Good for you.
So I just want to reiterate real quick. So with that information and looking forward, can we expect you to return in 2024 as the head coach of the Festus Tigers? You heard it here first. Coach is coming back for another year.
Yeah,
all right.
I didn't want to play Derek Gould and put him on the spot, so I kind of danced around there. So, Coach Barry Stafford, you developed a garage full of Ferraris taking on the bump. Describe your feelings in regards to seeing these guys succeed through the year and put you guys in a position in the playoffs and then capturing that crown.
Well, when you inherit this much talent, this deep, it's impressive. We've had some really good pitching over the years, but we've never had this many good pitchers at one time.
And to Monty's statement, you got 4 lefties. Some schools would kill to have 1.
Oh, definitely. Well, basically, we had 3 guys that were our number ones. They were all equal. And then you got 3 more that would be the number one on most of the teams in the conference. And like Coach said, we had a couple all-conference pitchers that didn't even pitch during the playoffs. So that's pretty amazing. And
Absolutely.
it was special to watch this group because I'm not sure they'll ever realize how difficult what they did was. And that's been going on for them since they were sophomores. You know, that year we kind of struggled a little bit. They had to learn how to win at the varsity level when they were sophomores. And they weren't supposed to win that district. And then we had 3 complete games in that district. And then they didn't realize how tough it was to repeat, and they did that. And then the fact that we made it back to the state championship game after being there and finishing second was just amazing.
You call pitches from the dugout?
I call most of the pitches, yes.
Have any of these Ferraris ever shaken you off?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They have, and, you know, it takes some time. We build some trust, and I definitely allow some of these guys, you know, to throw what they want to throw. Now, whenever they make that call and they give up a double, then we have a little bit of discussion when I go out to the mound.
Absolutely.
And that actually
then you got to treat them like a Volkswagen.
Uh-huh.
So I'll ask you the same question I asked Monty, but more specifically in regards to your pitchers. What set this staff apart from others you've coached over the years?
Probably the confidence level. I mean, they knew every time going out, they felt that they were better and that they were going to prove it and they were going to show it. And they did.
And to that, what is it about their collective talent and mindset that made them champions?
Probably the focus they have when they go out in the mound and their mound presence. I mean, with Ian, Nate, and Mason, there wasn't one time after they threw that somebody didn't come to me and say their mound presence is amazing and it's intimidating. And I'm going to tell a funny story that I had a parent come to me and say one of the Borgia dads said when they saw Mason warming up, they weren't worried at all. They couldn't believe this kid was going to be pitching against them. And even when it started, they kind of said that, and I said, well, obviously that guy's not in the batter's box. He's not understanding how Mason's ball gets on you and his fastball and how that thing's moving. And I just thought it was kind of funny.
Well, we appreciate you gentlemen being with us. We are going to go to the bullpen, and we're going to bring up a couple other guys here that we want to talk to. How about Ian Brown and Braden Montgomery?
Okay. All right, here we go.
Thank you, fellas.
You got the lefty and the righty.
Bring in the lefty and the righty.
Tiger call to the bullpen. Have a seat, Ian. Yeah, I'll get that up there for you. Right about there.
Welcome, gentlemen. Ian, I'm going to go with you first.
All right.
Of all the guys on this roster, this championship seems like it may have to be a little sweeter for you than most. And for folks who don't know, talk a little bit about your injury and what it took to come back and become one of the aces of this pitching staff.
Honestly, it was just I never thought I was going to come back or anything like that, but everybody pushed me through and helped me get to it, and it just helped out, and I was able to come back and throw it for my guys.
What was your specific injury?
I had like a bone break off my shoulder, so I had to get that removed and get my labrum repaired. And I also have 2 screws in there because of it. But it just kind of affected me a lot. It really took a toll on me, but I pushed through it. And like I said, with everybody's help, it helped me come back.
And how is your health now? And secondly, are you going to be able to make yourself available to teams who need pitching help at the collegiate level?
Oh, I'd say I'm pretty much like 100% healed and everything, and I think I'm ready for the next level and to help out any team I can play for.
Good for you. Good for you. Your pitching in the semifinal game helped propel the Tigers to the state championship. You threw a 7-hit shutout against Zumwalt South. How will that particular outing and how that all unfolded, how will that rank among your favorite baseball memories?
Oh, that's my top for sure. That will definitely be up there. It was the greatest game ever, and knowing my boys had my back was the best feeling ever because they helped me push through, and we won that easily.
Outstanding. Braden, You were playing third base, and you recorded the second and the seventh outs in the innings of the championship game. You then had a runner advance to third on a base hit. Describe how the rest of that particular play unfolded and how the team was able to get the final out.
Yeah, it was an overthrow.
Lift your mic up just to your mouth a little bit. There you go.
It was an overthrow from the cut from the outfield, and Nate was backing up third, and he fielded the ball and threw the ball second and celebrated.
Party on, right?
Yeah.
You were 4-1 on the mound this spring with a 1.13 ERA. You struck out 34 and walked 17. You're headed to Jeffco to play for Coach Zach Bone along with Nate Moore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you talked to Coach Bone, and has it been laid out what your role might end up being at Jeffco?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Bone when I want to visit in the fall, and basically just going to be a PO, pitch, come out of the pen, eat up innings.
Good for you. Good for you. How special is this championship, playing for your dad and seeing all the hard work and sacrifice it's taken to get to this point? And what does this final season together with your dad, winning a state championship, mean to you?
It means a lot. You know, I played for my dad since I was 5 years old, and it's all been leading up to this moment. And to get the final out and win the state championship is like great concluding to that.
Doesn't get any sweeter, does it?
Yeah.
All right. You guys are done. We're going to the bullpen.
There we go.
Next man up, Tyler Bizzle, Nate Moore.
Bringing in the battery here, basically. And
T. Bizzle's in the house.
T-Biz and Big Nate Dog. So there we go.
Nate, less is not more.
Oh, I like it.
There you go. Get that headset on like you've done it before.
Dude,
Mr.
you should be used to this.
That thing almost has his name on it.
So Tyler Bizzle was the catcher on the championship squad. My first question to you, young man, what was it like throughout the season leading up to what you guys did, handling this incredibly talented pitching staff, and how did you help manage their different skills and personalities?
Well, they make it pretty easy on me. I mean, they throw great games almost every single game. The most I help out is just making sure we're all on the same page, working hard, and we're all just doing our jobs.
You finished the season with a .376 batting average and knocked in 33 runs. Aside from the team goals of winning a championship, how do you feel now about your contribution from an offensive and defensive standpoint?
Oh yeah, I feel really good about like what I did accomplished this season. It was definitely my best offensive season so far, which is great to feel. And one little thing, I did beat Hayden Bates on hits, so I think that's kind of cool. Shout out to him. He's a great baseball player.
Hey, nicely done, buddy boy. Something I didn't know, but nicely played. One thing I noticed covering the Festus games that we did, I cannot remember, and I come from a family of catchers. I caught when I was younger, and my son was a college catcher. Dude, watching you block, I can't remember a pass ball, let's put it this way. Everybody throws a wild pitch that you can't control. I don't remember all season seeing a pass ball. Did you have one?
Oh, yeah, definitely for sure I did have one.
Okay, well, you popped my balloon. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I have to work the hardest on. I think it's probably the hardest thing I have to do is the blocking aspect.
Well, and it shows that you take pride in being behind the plate.
Right.
And I hate the term, and it will always be used, catchers wear the tools of ignorance. No way. The catchers are one of the smartest people on the field.
Yeah.
So props to you, my man.
Sweet.
Talk a little bit about your decision to play ball and study at Missouri S&T, and how did that opportunity come about?
Oh, it was a no-brainer. I wanted to be an engineer for quite a few years, and I was up at Mizzou my junior year, right at the first tournament after state last year, actually. And like my third at bat, I hit a home run at Mizzou, and the S&T coach was just watching. And so he came up to me after the game. He was like, "Do you want to do engineering?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want to come play ball?" I was like, "Yeah, of course."
Hey,
And
right
that's where it
place,
came
right,
from.
right place, right time.
Exactly.
And, you know, sometimes, and I tell athletes this all the time, no matter how much you prepare, how much you do, whatever you do, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. You happen to be there. He happened to be there. Lady Luck was shining
Right.
on you.
Yep.
So best of luck to you, brother.
Sweet, thank you.
Hey, you can start your own firm with Mr. Reese over there, going to S&T and
Oh, yeah.
being engineer. What kind of engineer do you want to be?
I'm doing computer engineering, and I might do electrical engineering as well.
Before we get done with Bizzle real quick here, I just from where I've watched you play stuff, there's always that guy on the team. There's always that guy in the dugout, that guy with the personality. And I'm looking at Nate right now, and he's grinning. And it just seems that you're just one of those guys that may be able at a crucial moment pick up the guys, crack a joke, get on somebody, kind of loosen things up a little bit. Is that an accurate description of Bizzle?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, every team has one, and it's an important role. It's a lot of time you got to break that tension, so kudos to you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Nate Moore. I've had the pleasure of interviewing as our player of the game three times over the last couple years. Describe the feeling of being on the mound and having a part in that final out of the championship game.
I just love being on the mound, and like being able to close the game my senior year in the state championship is pretty crazy.
Doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
Unless you get one somewhere down the road again.
Yeah.
So you're known for having developed a stoic personality and presence on the mound. And I witnessed that in the past. How important is body language and mentality, do you feel, to your success as a pitcher?
I think body language is big. Like when I'm out there, I just go and compete and do my thing and just have fun. And then like I think if like my energy is good, then I'll perform well. So I always just try to go out there and smile and have fun. Just do my best.
I coached baseball for 27 years, and I've been around the game at the high school and the collegiate level a long time. And I say this with all sincerity. You remind me of two professional pitchers, Bob Gibson and Chris Carpenter, in your mound presence. But you killed me the other night against DeSoto in a Legion game. Dude, I'm sitting there doing play-by-play, and all of a sudden I see you turn to the middle infielders and kind of grin. I see them pearly whites, and I'm like, did I see what I thought I saw? Let it go.
Smile.
Then I see it again. And then I see it again, and I'm like, so I had to question about it the other night. What's that all about, the smiling?
I don't know.
I love it. By the way, I love it, believe me.
I don't know. Like I said, I just like to have fun out there and just keep a smile on my face. And every time I turn around, those guys always have something to say, something dumb to say like they usually do. And it just makes me smile.
Coach, it's Legion ball. It's like the wild, wild west in the summertime, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can I ask him the third question?
Yes.
This is kind of a special thing for me, and the inspiration for this next question came from your mom, Melinda, who's sitting right over there watching, and is very proud of you, as you well know. End of the 2022 season, losing the state championship game, there were a lot of tears, a lot of sadness going on, but also some resolve. You were very vocal at that point about using that loss as motivation to get back. And I'm sure it was with the other guys too. All year long, your team played like you were hungry to get back to that moment. Talk a little bit about the course of the season, what you guys said to one another to stay motivated and focused.
It's like we all had that same goal, just to get back, but like we wanted a different outcome. We wanted that. We wanted the ring. We wanted the state championship. We wanted to be like the last team with the win. So like I think that just really motivated us throughout the whole season. We knew that's what we wanted, so we just got after it.
Only one team in Class 5 got to end their season with a victory.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, no offense, brother. You're out. I'm pulling somebody else. You're done. T, you stay here. You're done. I'm going to the bullpen.
We need the lefty.
We got Shermer coming in next, or?
Yes.
Tyler can stay here in case he needs help. We might need a mound visit.
Sorry, dude.
When Shermer's on the mound and he's starting out maybe slow, he hasn't gotten in his groove yet, you go out there and talk to him. What do you talk about?
I'm like, just lock it in, dude. You're just better than half these guys, so I just tell them to lock it up.
No questions about where to eat after the game or anything like that? Maybe come to the Pasta House in Festus?
Yeah.
I like it.
So our last guest here, left-handed hurler Mason Shermer. I understand you're a sophomore. All right. 8-1 record, only gave up 15 runs all year and a minuscule 1.09 ERA. Give us an overview of the season and the state run from a sophomore's viewpoint.
Basically what kind of Nate said, just have fun and not think too much when you're out there. Like, really when Bizzle comes out, he just says, don't suck. So, I mean, that's what he normally tells me is just suck it up, don't suck. I'm like, oh, thanks. That helps a lot. But, just have fun and pitch. Stafford always says pitch to contact. That wasn't my favorite. Everyone's out there trying their hardest, so you can't really get mad at anyone if anything goes wrong. So you just got to be loose and play with.
Well, and the thing is, not a lot went wrong this year.
Oh, no, not a lot at all.
What do you see in your future with the Festus team the next couple years?
Losing. Well, we have 9. We're losing. Not losing 9 guys. Yeah, losing 9 guys is not a good thing. But I don't think we're gonna need to rebuild. We have guys on the bench that are gonna come out and play and give it their all. But we're gonna lose some key pieces on the team, and we're gonna see what next year has for us. But I think we're gonna be all right.
Well, in one small step, you're going from a baby on the team to the old man in about 8 months, right?
They still all call me a baby no matter
still
what.
Big baby Sherman.
But now they're going to look to you for leadership because you've been there. You helped pull it off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No pressure.
They're probably also going to call me a baby no matter what. If I'm 30 years old, they're going to call me a baby.
No kidding. Folks, this is your 2023 Class 5 state baseball team. And on behalf of Livestream, I got to tell you, this was one of the most fun years. I've only been doing this 3 years, but this was one of the most fun years I've had doing play-by-play for baseball, watching these guys and becoming friends with a couple of them. This was a hoot and a half for me. So on behalf of us, thank you for the run. Boy, if the regulations wouldn't have been there, we'd have been in wherever you were.
Springfield, yeah.
Watching and covering that game. But I'm telling you, thank you, boys. This was a hoot. Monty, to you and Barry, what a year. Thank you, folks.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you guys and everybody for coming. And I guess we'll wrap things up. Before we get out of here real quick, though, we'll let you guys know what we've got going on this week. I'll turn all the mics off here real quick except for mine. Get all of that out of the way there. But tomorrow night we'll be taking care of some St. Louis Slam women's football, women's tackle football. If you haven't checked this out, you've got to check it out. 7 o'clock, we'll be at St. Mary's High School. The St. Louis Slam, they are 5-0, getting ready to go 6-0, and have not given up 1 point yet. They're going for the perfecto for the regular season. So tune in at 7 o'clock. We'll have that Saturday night. Whoa, that was really, really loud in my loud. So I need to change those real quick. Woo, that's really, really loud. Wow, that was so loud. Anyway, we may have to mute those. Hillsboro Post 783 comes to town Tuesday against Rock Memorial Post 283. That is out at Rock Memorial Field. I believe that is a 7 o'clock time. And then we'll have, right after that, we'll have the St. Louis Redbirds on Wednesday taking on the Jefferson County Blazers. And that will be a 5:45 game. That will also be over at Fox High School. And then we'll be rolling into some more American Legion baseball. The Baldwin Post 611 will be taking on Eureka Post 177. That is a first game of a doubleheader, and that will be at 5:30. And then we'll end up our doubleheader that night. They'll be taking on let me do that one more time there. They'll be taking on Maryland Heights Post 213 from over at Baldwin. So we'll have doubleheader there on Wednesday night, or Thursday night, I should say. And that should be around 8 o'clock. So for all of us here at Livestream STL, thank you so much for being with us, and we appreciate Jason Therrell, everybody involved, track team, baseball team, everybody. Thanks again. Keep up with us over the summer, and we hope to see you down the road on the live streams and all the broadcasts. Thanks again. This is the Main Street Sports Festus Tigers edition. We will see you down the road.